Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Hope everyone is doing well, and welcome to a brand new month here on DSPGaming. And as you guys know, whenever we have a new month, we have a new setup, and apparently we have a special guest who is very eager to get on camera this morning. So I hope everyone's doing... Oh, Jasper, please don't scratch me again, for good's sakes. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to May 1st, 2023, and welcome to a new setup and a full day of gaming, which I'm definitely excited for after a full weekend of basically reacting, right? Like, this weekend was an insane amount of React-style content. It was fun. I love the React stuff we're doing, but man, doing an entire weekend of it takes it out of you, and it's like, man, I just want to get back to gaming, and today we do that. Today we have a full day of gaming, and in fact, we have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, all right? Today we have a ton of interesting different stuff that we need to talk about. Game updates, patches, new releases, early access that people weren't supposed to have, all kinds of stuff to talk about today on the show. It's going to help to formulate our schedule for the rest of the week, which obviously we need to kind of hammer in. If you remember, there's stuff in limbo, including Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and tomorrow, Redfall releases on Game Pass. So we're going to talk about that this morning. I also want to talk about, obviously, how all the React content went over the weekend, so you guys know what to expect this week, because there's a ton of React content coming out over on DSP Reacts over this week, based off of all the stuff we did this weekend, that I hope you'll check out if you weren't here live, okay? So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but before we get to that, I just want to apologize in advance, all right? So I got some personal stuff going on behind the scenes. It is health-related, and it's bothering me. And it sucks. It's not something that I'm willing to talk about, publicly. But there is stuff going on right now that's very annoying, a little scary. And because of that, it's kind of getting to me. And this morning I woke up and I was all stressed out all around the house. My wife went to work early, and I'm like, man, I'm like shaking my head, and I'm like, man, I hate this shit. I hate having stuff on my mind that stays in the back of my head and won't go away. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if there's a little minor annoyance and you're like, well, you could brush it off, but today I basically what I'm going to do today is try to take my mind off of reality by enjoying games with you guys on the stream. Okay, I think that's the best way to go about it, because not everything in my life is going to be 100% transparent or something that I'm going to share with you. But there is stuff going on behind the scenes you guys don't know about. Lots of stuff you guys actually don't know about, and that's for good reason. As you know, with the crazy stalkerish people on the internet that harass me all the time, I need to keep that separation of private and public life. I need to have that private life. Like, I don't have enough people bullying and harassing and constantly trying to attack me for absolutely no good reason. The more I share, the worse it gets. So please understand, today I'm trying to do my best to keep my mind off of nonsensical stuff. But I'm just going to forewarn you guys ahead of time that today I might be stressed out. I apologize in advance if I lash out or seem upset or seem... Jasper, don't bite that wire. Now is not a good time. Jasper, kitty. Don't do it. He has to distract me with that when I'm trying to tell you guys something serious, right? But yeah, basically, that's the situation, and I know that sometimes... I'll be honest, I'm a human. Wow, you didn't know that, did you? You thought I was an alien. I'm a human, and these times things tend to sometimes come through on a stream. People will say, wow, Phil seems on edge today, or Phil seems really agitated today, or That's why. It's not because of anything going on the stream. It's not because of you guys or anything like that. It's just life. It's stuff behind the scenes that is getting to me and bothering me, and it sucks. Can't even talk, I can't even talk about it, So, please bear with me. I hope you'll be a little bit more patient with me today, all right? It's funny that some people just think life is all fucking fun and games, right? They take nothing seriously. They just, they think everything's a joke. They think that everything is funny. Oh, just make fun of everyone constantly, bully everyone constantly. And you have to understand that these things get to people, and then they affect them in a very negative way. But some people don't want to even think about that or take any kind of responsibility for anything they've ever done. Instead, I'll just continue on as long as everything's funny and happy for us and benefits us, right? But, that's, what can I say? That there's some people who have ethics and a moral compass, and there's some people who just go through life brain dead fucking stupid, drooling at the mouth, and just fucking like a bull through a china shop, wrecking everything around them. They don't give a shit as long as they're okay. And, it sucks. It sucks that that's the reality of human existence, but that's what I've basically been experiencing for the past 10 years, is that everyone on the internet essentially just doesn't care what they say or do towards me as long as it fucking gets them over, right? And I gotta put up with it, and I gotta put up with the repercussions of it. And it does suck, but that's my life, and I've kind of had to accept it. You guys motivate me to push through tough times with your positivity, and the messages you guys send me about how you love the content I put out, the true core audience that's here to enjoy what I love doing, the passion that I have, and the guys, you recognize the passion that I have, and I really appreciate you guys being here and always being that positive influence on my life. So thank you for that, those of you who are here for that. Because, this will be a day when there's a bunch of fucking moronic jackasses who, now because I've said this, they're going to make a concerted effort to be nasty to me. You know what I mean? And I just don't need it. Like, right now, I'm already, like, at my wit's end with stress, with stuff behind the scenes, and I can't put up with this bullshit. So I have no tolerance for it. I tell you guys right now, like, maybe on another day, I'd be more jokingly taking stuff. Today is not that day with the stuff that's going on in my life. So people come in here and they want to be nasty, you're not going to ever see them again. So wave goodbye to all your idiotic friends who want to come by and be really, today's the day to bully Phil. No, it's not. No, today's the day to get your ass banned and never come back. And I will not care. I will not give two shits. I dare you to try to email me to get unbanned if you do it today. Okay? So, all that being said, let's get this out of the way. I just wanted to get that out of the way so we can get back to more interesting stuff that you guys probably care about. So let's get to it. So, first of all, this weekend was a lot of React content. And to recap what I did this weekend, on Saturday, the main stream was DSP versus the Internet, which is my weekly React show on my sister channel, DSP Reacts. All right. And it went pretty well. In fact, I would say that it was actually the best React session that I've did. It had the best variety. It had I say some funny clips. Like, every part had something that was pretty funny and entertaining and interesting. And I liked doing it more than I usually do. A lot of the times when I do the show, I'm like, oh man, it takes a while to actually get to a part that's pretty good. But in this case, I would say every single part of the 6-part show had something entertaining and interesting and unique and different. And I really liked that. And I think what it is it takes a while when you're launching something new to get the hang of it. And I think after, 11 episodes, we kind of got the hang of it this week. And it ended up being a much better show, in my opinion. If you weren't there live, first of all, if you're a member on DSP Reacts, you can watch the entirety of that session, that stream, right now, archived. But if you're not a member, well, the parts will be uploading over the course of the week, 1 a day. There's already 3 live. There was 2 yesterday, 1 today, and then 1 each day for the next 3 days. And like I said, each part, something kind of unique and interesting and fun. So I hope you'll give it a look. Now, yesterday, we did the day-long, long-form React for the month. And we reacted to the Internet Historian YouTube channel. And it was fun. Like, I had never watched anything from the Internet Historian before at all. And watching some of these videos was very entertaining. The first one we watched was The Fall of 76, which is basically a documentary about Fallout 76's horrible launch. And then we had The Cost of Concordia, which is a documentary slash, comedy thing about a horrible cruiser line crash and how inept the staff was that caused it. And then the last thing we did was called The Engoodening of No Man's Sky, which the first half is all about the lead up and botched, horrible, underwhelming launch of No Man's Sky in 2016. But then the second half is about the redemption story of how Sean Murray and his studio Hello Games basically did not do the wrong thing that many studios do, but instead stuck with their guns, improved the product to the point where it got all these updates, and it ended up being pretty good, close to what they had actually promised. So, that was great. I loved all three of those videos that we watched, and the way that I've done it is, once again, if you're a channel member over on DSP Reacts, you can watch the entirety of that stream right now, including a Feasting with Phil episode where we had Indian food. And dude, this is one of the biggest food, videos I've ever done. It actually had 2 different kinds of Indian curry, tandoori chicken, vegetable pakora, and naan bread. It was like a feast of Indian food, the wide gamut of what they do. It was really, really good. So if you missed out on that, you missed out. That was one of the best ones I've ever done. And then in addition to that, we had all the other fun stuff too, some chill discussion and stuff between the videos and everything. It was a good show. It was a really good stream in my opinion, okay? People who were here also seemed to like it. We had great attendance all day long on that marathon. So obviously that means something, right? So how's it going to go? Well, just like with DSP versus the internet, all right? It's going to be slowly uploaded over the course of the week. Yesterday I uploaded the intro video and the Fall of 76 React. So that's already live. You can check that out on DSP Reacts. Then the next one was the Cost of Concordia, and that's a 2-parter. So part 1 will be today around noon, so in about a half an hour, and then part 2 will be tomorrow, okay? And then the next video was the Engoodening of No Man's Sky, and that also was a 2-parter. So you can watch part 1 of that on Wednesday when I'm not even here, on Tuesday, and then part 2 of that on Wednesday. Wait, now I'm getting my days confused. Today's Monday. Today is Monday. See, I'm getting my days confused. I'm all stressed out. Today, Monday, is part 1 of Cost of Concordia. Tomorrow is part 2. Wednesday is part 1 of the Engoodening of No Man's Sky. Thursday is part 2. So all of the internet historian react stuff, all right, will be done by Thursday. And then Friday is actually going to be 2 different videos. It's going to be that Feasting with Phil video, and then there's also going to be the So I did a very special vlog, and I hope that you guys are going to watch this, all right? Because basically there is let me put it this way. 3 months I've been doing the React channel, okay? 3 months. And during those 3 months, I basically have tried different things. We started off with just the DSP versus the internet show. Then we added reviews. We added the long form React event. And now I'm doing tier maker, right? Tier maker rankings. And I think some of them have seen a big success. Some of them have not. Some are kind of in the middle. And I basically, in about a half an hour vlog, I went through all of that to try to give like a 3-month summary of what I think about the React channel and how it's doing. And really what I need to do is I need to get feedback. I'm looking for feedback. What is working and what is not, okay? And basically the way I see it is we need to determine exactly what it is that you like the most from the React channel and do more of it. And we need to determine what you guys think maybe is not so good or maybe a waste of my time and not do as much of it, all right? It's weird, and here's one of the major points I've noticed. I love doing the long-form React events once a month because it allows me to react to a large video, like a documentary that's an hour and a half long, or these internet historian videos that are anywhere from 25 to 50 minutes long. I couldn't do that on a normal stream, and I couldn't do that certainly on DSP versus the internet, right? Because that's a clip show where we're reacting to a ton of clips back to back to back. So the long-form events allow me to do that. But what I've noticed is the long-form events just don't get a lot of support. Yesterday we had a bunch of people on stream, but the support was lower than a normal day when I would do 2 gameplay streams. It was actually significantly lower than a double gameplay stream day. And I'm like, so then is this not what you want, right? And it's weird to read because now the question is, how will those videos perform over the week? Those videos are going to go on demand on DSP Reacts, and if they get good viewership there, then maybe that's how that'll be worthwhile for me. It's really hard to say and hard to read. But what I really need is a feedback. Essentially, that's what it's all about. Feedback. And getting your feedback and applying that and doing better content for you, okay? So what I'd like to do is get your feedback, and that video is going to go live on Friday, and you'll see what I mean. I go way more into detail about the whole reacting in that video. And please respond. Please leave comments on that video, and let me know exactly what you think. All right, I need your feedback on that. All right, because some things are working well. I would say, DSP versus the internet. That's the lifeblood of that channel. There's people who are actively becoming a member just to be a part of that show. And right now, we have a record high 123 members on DSP Reacts and climbing. It keeps increasing. I thought at some point we would plateau, but it actually keeps growing. So obviously, this is something good, right? This is good. People are supporting the channel. They want to be a part of that interactive show. That show is definitely a hit, okay? The tier maker stuff has exploded in popularity. I didn't think anyone would really care, and those are some of the highest viewed videos I have on the channel. And that's why I'm actually not doing it as often, because I don't want it to feel so commonplace. In fact, what I'm thinking is maybe we'll do one next week, and then we're going to do a couple of them during the upcoming Street Fighter Marathon event, which we still need to think of a name for, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to do a couple of them then, so maybe do just a few a month, and that way it's not over flooding the channel with them, but they feel special, right? The reviews, I don't think are doing so well. I've been trying to review movies and shows, and when I review, it just doesn't seem to do that well. I'm not even getting 1,000 views on a review that I'm putting up over there. That's not good. Essentially, that means people aren't too interested in the reviews, which is hilarious because people ask me for so many years to review movies and TV, and now I do it, and now no one's watching it. So it's basically a mix, and that's why I need your feedback on. So this week is going to be great if you like React content. Every day through Wednesday, you're going to have a new part of DSP versus the internet. Every day all week, you're going to have a new React video to Internet Historian. And then Friday, you got the food vlog, Feasting with Phil, and this video where I kind of give an update on the channel, and I need your feedback. So it's a full week of stuff over there. Please check it all out if you get a chance, okay? It's funny because I just got two people who said exactly the same thing, both Linuli and Drewski. Linuli, boy, I can't even speak. Linuli and Drewski both said, you need to review new stuff. And, but the point is, I can't go to movie theater. If new movies were coming out on demand and I could watch them today, I'd easily just get the service that has it and watch them and review it for you. I can't go to the movie theater. Guys, I get one day off a week. In that day, I have to do a million things, all right? My wife and I last week had a day out. We didn't even get to do all the things we wanted to do during the day out. I don't have time to go to the movies and see these movies, quite frankly. And by the way, that's not even economical. To go to the movies and watch a movie ticket itself costs more than what I would make on the review video. What's the point of me going to the movies to watch a movie where I'm going to pay 3 times as much to see the movie than what I'm going to make on the review of the movie? I'm not Angry Joe, who puts out a movie review that gets hundreds of thousands of views and makes him thousands of dollars. You understand that? So it has to be economical. If I'm watching stuff on demand, that's one thing. If I'm watching it live at the movies, it doesn't make sense. What it is, again, it's economies of scale, and people who always give me feedback that makes no sense because you assume that I'm a giant YouTuber that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were a big YouTuber building up a giant vlog situation, a reviewing channel, and hundreds of thousands of people were watching my reviews, yeah, then I could easily just say, oh, I've justified going to the movies and watching movies every week and making movie reviews. That's never going to happen. I'm a tiny little guy on YouTube. You guys got to stop comparing me to the big boys. All right? Okay. So, that's all I have to say about that. There'll be a lot more React stuff this week. Please watch it if you can, and give me your feedback when that video comes out on Friday. That's going to be key. All right? Okay, now, let us continue, shall we? Let's now talk about what's going to happen this week, because now this week is really getting thrown for a loop, all right? Originally, this week was just going to be Elden Ring, and then later in the week, we were going to play Redfall, and we were basically holding off and waiting for a patch for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because I played it on Friday, and although I was enjoying the game ran like complete shit, and that was very annoying. Okay, so now I need to give you an update on the schedule because we finally have a bunch of big updates. By the way, Swaggins, I know you're here, and any other moderators that are here, thanks to a certain really big scumbag individual on the internet, I'm going to have a bunch of assholes harassing me today. All right? So if you could help me with the moderation today, I'd really appreciate it. I can't do it all myself, especially when I'm already kind of annoyed. You know, if you could help me out here, I think you know what I'm talking about. Just look at the chat and you're going to see these idiots coming in today. If you could help me out today and do me a solid, I would really appreciate that. So I don't have to moderate constantly and I can, you know, try to relax. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. So today we're all right. All right. Today we're staying to the schedule we originally were supposed to do. Although we might have done something different. It was weird because there was an ambiguous tweet by one of the Capcom Twitter accounts yesterday, and it was the tweet that they had actually put out just back in December, right before they announced a new beta for Street Fighter 6. So when they put that out, okay, when they put that out last night or the day before, everyone assumed there was going to be a new Street Fighter 6 beta, but there's nothing. So it almost seems like the tweet was put out in complete error. Oops. So everyone was all anticipated, and it looks like there's nothing Street Fighter 6 related coming out this week, unless they shadow drop it or it comes out of nowhere. But yeah, it looks like it was just a bunch of baloney. All right. So there you go. So that means today is a normal day for me. It's going to be Elden Ring continuing on. And the cool thing about this is we are now heading into the second half of the game. We have taken on all the first half challenges. And today looks like, unless anyone has suggestions about NPC quests, because I was thinking this in my head, I was like, we're about to head into the underground city of Nokron, which is a really fun optional dungeon. Cool bosses, cool level design. But I was thinking in my head, wait a minute. Aren't the twins down there, or one of the twins, the D twins? And to do the D twins plot line, don't you have to enable the NPC quest line at the round table where you talk to what's her name who hugs you, and then there's a plot line between her and D, right? To like where he's trying to kill the bringer of destined death or whatever, but then she ends up killing him, and then that enables the plot line to advance. And then when you're down in Nokron, I think you find his brother, his twin brother, and that's what keeps that plot line moving so that you can move it forward. And then later on, when you're further in an underground in another area, you meet her. I forget her name. She's actually supposed to be like the goddess of destined death or something. And so you run into her again later, and there's an optional boss fight with her. Fia, thank you. Her name is Fia. And then that leads to the big optional dragon boss, correct? So I want to do all that in this run, but I was thinking, do I need to enable that quest line at the round table hold first before we go to Nokron? So we got to talk about this today. You guys know better than me. I know you do. I know you guys are going to know what's going on in the game way better than I am. So if you could share that with me today, and I'd like to make some good progress. And probably today we're doing Nokron, I would think. But, you know, do the NPC stuff first before we head down there or whatever it is, and go from there, okay? So, yeah. So thank you for being here for Elden Ring, and I hope that it's a great stream with great progress and fun, and we continue on. You know, at this point, we got a lot of the tools, right? We got a lot of the tools needed, but we don't have everything. Like, people are telling me this is a really good crown thing you can wear from one of the legendary sorcerers, and that's going to make my build better and stuff. So we're still working towards it. We're still trying to get the optimal build for glintstone sorceries, and we'll work on that today. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. All right? And it's going to be fun. It's Shivering Isles DLC, so I hope that you'll join me for that tonight. We just started the Shivering Isles DLC and basically unlocked a bunch of quest lines, but didn't do any of them. So tonight we will likely explore a little more and then actually start doing some of the quest lines. So that should be fun. Now tomorrow is where things start to change. All right? Tomorrow we're going to be playing Redfall. Redfall is actually releasing on Xbox Game Pass tomorrow. Originally I had the dates wrong. I thought it was coming out on Friday, but I was wrong. It comes out tomorrow. Now I have some updates on Redfall for all of you, because basically almost no one got an advanced copy of this game. Almost no one. And those that did, I guess there's a review embargo, and you're not allowed to review it until, I think, tomorrow. Which is really weird. If the game comes out tomorrow, why are no reviews allowed out yet? Right? So, what ended up happening was, someone accidentally published their review a day early. It was a blatant accident. They didn't mean to do it. I guess they were scheduling the video on YouTube, and they scheduled it for an entire day early. So it went live today. They realized their mistake, and they, you know, privated the video or whatever, but people already ripped it because people were looking for gameplay of Redfall, and now they have it. And essentially, what everyone is saying about this is that it's not very good. They're saying that Redfall looks like an unfinished joke. The graphics are horrendous, where there's tons of pop-in and issues. It looks like the game is kind of unfinished. There's entire rooms that are completely empty. You'll walk into a room, you look around, there's literally nothing. It's an empty white room with doors. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Why is this even in the game? So, and the gunplay apparently is also quite basic and not very interesting. Now, this is only what people are getting from this one person's early review. And apparently the person who reviewed it actually said, I like the game, but I can't really praise it because it has all these shortcomings. 6 out of 10. That was their review. So that's kind of funny. Someone who says, I'm actually playing it and enjoying it, but at the same time, I recognize it's unfinished. 6 out of 10. So what's funny is a lot of other games journalists have come out and said, well, we didn't even get review codes. While others are like, yeah, we'll put out our review tomorrow. But I think everyone's kind of silently nodding, saying, yeah, we're all kind of saying it's not very good. All right. So I guess we'll see, because tomorrow it is Game Pass. I'm willing to give it a stream. We'll play it tomorrow. If it's atrociously bad, we'll all laugh together at how bad it is and say, haha, I never play it again. But maybe not. You know, who knows? Maybe this is one opinion. Maybe it's a skewed opinion. I don't know. But I will, since it is in Game Pass, you know, I might as well give it a shot, at least one stream. By the way, this is the same game that is locked at 60 frames per second. And is not going to have excuse me. The game is locked at 30 frames per second. I completely misspoke. And it's not going to get a patch to update it to full 60 frames until apparently later in the year. And everyone's, you know, criticizing that, saying, like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you release the game now if you know it can't run well? I mean, it's literally another situation where supposed to be a modern day game dev can't get their game to run smoothly on anything, but they're releasing the game anyway. Did we not just fucking have that on Friday with Jedi Survivor, right? But it's like every modern game dev, this is par for the course now. It's not the hardware that's the problem anymore. The game devs aren't putting in the amount of time they need to make the games run smoothly, but then the publisher pressures them and they fucking release it anyway. So tomorrow, we'll find out for ourselves. It may be a hilarious laughing fest if the game really is bad. But luckily, there is no risk here. We can just sit here and enjoy it together either way and go from there. I don't know if I'll ever play it again, but we'll find out tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Then tomorrow night on the late stream, it will be Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster as a nice late night chill session at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. And that's my streaming week. You may have noticed I only did one session of Oblivion and one session, well, I guess this is the second session of Final Fantasy this week. Yeah, next week we'll get back to normalcy. This week was definitely a different week with the double special React content, so we should get a lot more of those games next week, okay? Now, there was another major announcement. This is what I mean. I have all these major announcements to say that these are going to affect the schedule. EA announced today, okay, that their first major patch for Star Wars Jedi Survivor is going live. Apparently, the patch went live today on PC, and it's supposed to go live tomorrow, or I guess what we could say is as soon as possible, because remember, whenever a patch is issued for console games, it has to go through their online services approval system to make sure that, I guess, it's not corrupted and it's not a problem. So even though they would like to release the patch today, they have to go through like the Xbox Live, PlayStation Store approval system and to get the stamp, and then the patch will go out live for the game. So taking a look at I looked at the patch notes for this patch for Jedi Survivor. So first and foremost, it says right at the top of the list, performance issues. It's supposed to address all the performance issues that people are seeing in the game. Now, do I actually believe 100% that this is going to be fixing the game fully? No, I don't. Maybe there'll be an improvement. I don't feel this is going to be like a cure-all fix. If it was that easy to snap your fingers and within a day or two of the game, you know, being out, it was able to fix it like that, they would have fixed it for launch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been instantly fixed. There's no reason they would have released the game at launch as subpar as they did. So I get the feeling this will fix some stuff, but it's not going to be a cure-all. But it might be a mend-all, meaning it might give you enough of an improvement that the game feels more playable. And if that's the case, I would love that, okay? Oh, excuse me. So, that's good. Now, it also had a laundry list of other fixes. Basically, apparently, the game was full of bugs that we never even got to experience. Like, all this, like, game freeze, game crashing, game this, game that, and like, I never even got that far. Can you imagine if I had played past the 5 hours I had played, and I'm 7-8 hours into the game, and all of a sudden now the game becomes a crashing, buggy mess after that? Dude, I would have been livid. I mean, I was upset with only getting to play 5 hours and having to put the playthrough on hold, but I would have been really upset if I pushed through that just for the game to fall apart entirely. So I'm kind of glad that I did put the game on hold when I did. I think it was the right choice to make. So since Jasper's in the closet, since this update is coming out tomorrow, but we're already scheduled to try out Redfall tomorrow, essentially I will be trying Star Wars Jedi Survivor again this coming Thursday. Wait a minute. Guess what Thursday is? May the 4th. So I'll be picking up my Star Wars Jedi Survivor playthrough on the day that is the annual Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. It's literally a complete coincidence. It wasn't intended to be that way. It just so happened the patch is coming tomorrow. I'm off on Wednesday. So we're having a Star Wars Day on May the 4th. What I would say is, let's hope for the best. Let's hope that the patch works really well. Let's hope that the game now performs well, correct? And we're in a situation where basically we can enjoy the game. I mean, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for the game to run at a frame rate that I can actually control it. And we were at the point after the 5 hours I had played that I couldn't actively control the game. And the game was getting progressively harder, and I was like, dude, I'm at the beginning area. Can you imagine getting into the later areas of the game that are going to be much tougher and trying to play this fucking game if it's going to run like this? And that's why I really gave up on it on Friday. I was like, I just don't want to subject myself to the stress and annoyance when this game should absolutely be running better. I'll just wait for it to run better. So, this Thursday, we give Jedi Survivor a second try, and hopefully the patch does improve the game performance, and we can continue on with the playthrough and have it in the regular schedule. I would be happy to have it in the regular schedule. All right. So then, Thursday night will probably be Oblivion, and then Friday, we'll see what happens, because if Redfall is terrible, we're probably not playing it again. If Redfall is decent, then we'll probably play it again. So we might end up alternating between several games like Elden Ring and Jedi Survivor and Redfall, but it really depends on Redfall. If Redfall sucks, then we're just never going to play it again, and we'll just alternate between Elden Ring and Jedi Survivor for now. And then the next major game coming out would be Zelda, and that's going to be the 12th, I believe. So it would give us about a week and a half to focus on the other two games. What is it, Jasper? You're staring at me. Jasper Kitty. He's rubbing the mic. Jasper Kitty. What is it? What is it? Are you being silly again? You want to sit on my lap again? Oh my goodness. That's all good, Jay. Jason's allergies are bothering him, so we might not be talking much today. I hear you. Luckily for today, my allergies are not bothering me that much. So that's a good thing. But yesterday they actually were. Today's cool today in Washington. So because it's cool, I can just have my fans on. I have my oscillating fan and my air conditioner's fan. I think I'll be good, and I won't need the air conditioner today. I also have the door open because Jasper is here, and my wife is at work, so I might be cool down today, which is nice. I don't need the air conditioner blasting today. That's a good thing. Yeah, so this next week should be an alternation between Jedi Survivor and Elden Ring and Redfall if we choose that we want to keep playing Redfall, but I don't know if we're going to or not. It all depends on if Redfall's any good tomorrow. And the night streams will be alternation between Oblivion and Final Fantasy V, which I'm very excited to continue both. Now, this Saturday will be DSP versus the Internet. Now, we have 123 members on DSP Reacts right now. Okay, thank you for that support. I really appreciate that. I want to see how it goes because the posts were put up last night on the channel for people to nominate the clips they want to see on the show, and members are just currently posting up and competing to get into those spots. With over 100 members like this, I'm curious if we should again reduce the amount of clips that people can nominate, because it used to be unlimited, then it was 3, now it's 2. But I'm almost thinking, since we have 120 something members, maybe we should reduce it and just say, okay, you can only nominate one clip a week, but it's first come, first serve, and we watch one clip from everyone, basically. I'm debating it. All right? We'll see. I want to see how the show goes this week. Depending on how it goes, we'll determine if we want to change it up for the next week or not. Okay? Now, also, since it's a new month, this means that I'm going to have new private React videos to make for patrons. All right? For those who don't know, because I rarely talk about this, if you go to my Patreon at patreon.com/DarksidePhil, that is a way that you can support my content. If you don't care about interaction on the streams and you just like the content, maybe you're someone who only watches this content on demand as videos, and you want to support the channel, but you just don't care about getting a shout out on a stream, pledging to my Patreon is definitely a way to do that. But if you pledge $50 or more, you get a private React video. And so I have to make, I believe, 3 this month. I have to double check, but there's a good amount. And since that's the case, I will have to take a night stream off, likely this first week of May, in order to do it. So once I get all the data together this week of what the videos are exactly and all of that, then I guess I will let you guys know. It might be Sunday night. Maybe I'll be taking the night off to, I say take the night off. It's not taking it off. I'm just not streaming that night because I need to make the private videos. Okay. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know exactly what's going with that. But there you go. Okay. And, like I said, the next major thing going on this month will be the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom playthrough starting on May 12th. So that's a new playthrough I'll absolutely be playing. And also, the next big event is the Street Fighter 6 Hype Marathon. But we have to determine the name of it. So let me tell you about this marathon. It's going to happen on or around May 21st, which is a Sunday. The marathon is going to entail the following. First of all, challenge runs in classic Street Fighter games, including games like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the Street Fighter Alpha series, and the Street Fighter 3 series. What's going to happen is we're going to play the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, and you guys are going to vote live on the game and the character I use in a highest difficulty level challenge run against the CPU. These games are very difficult to fight against the CPU because the CPU cheats. The CPU will constantly read your inputs and not allow you to play the game as it's intended to be played. You got to find like exploits to beat it because the AI is so cheap. Sometimes, for give you an example, Guile will walk forward, then do a flash kick. But a flash kick's a charge move. Yeah, well, Guile cheats. Same thing with damage output. For some reason, someone will hit you with 3 punches and take 90% of your life. Like, what? That's how they are. They're very, very cheap. So that should be a fun, challenging thing to do. In addition, we're going to be doing some tier makers that are all fighting game related. Likely we will either rank Street Fighter games or the fighting game franchises in general in a tier maker, ranking event. And also, I think people want to maybe rank fighting game characters. Now, I don't know if it'll be all fighting game characters or like just Street Fighter. We'll see. But basically, that should be pretty fun. And it's going to be, that for good variety. And then on top of that, my wife is going to be making several recipes out of the Street Fighter recipe book. All right? That's going to be fun, too. So there's going to be food. There's going to be tier maker rankings. There's going to be gameplay. Good variety of stuff. And, of course, I may have a surprise or two in there. We'll see. But, yeah, it's all Street Fighter related all day long. And it's a way to hype up the impending release of Street Fighter 6 on June 2nd. So there you go. Special event coming up in May. And the only other thing is we have to determine whether or not we want to do a long-form React event in May, or if maybe we should just give the month a kind of a break and not do a long-form React event, which is fine if we do. But if we are going to do a long-form React, we got to determine what it's going to be. Okay? So we'll talk about that over the course of this month. If anything, the one thing I need help with right now, I'm trying to think of a good idea for the Street Fighter Marathon event. What should we call it? Right? Burnell's Bombacious Brawl, Phil's Fighting Frenzy, the Street Fighter 6 Shameless Promotion Event. I don't know. Let's think about it. You guys think of some names, right? Can you think of something cool to come up with? Because I'd like to start promoting it. But we need to get Brunel's Bazongas. I hate to tell you guys, I really don't have many Bazongas here. You may be thinking of a few other streamers, but I really don't have Bazongas. Sorry about that. Sorry to disappoint you. Okay. Anyway. So let's think about it. please give me some ideas. And, you know, I would like to start basically promoting it by its name within the next few days. And maybe we can even get some promotional stuff like a banner or something so we can start hyping it for the month. Because I am excited. It seems like a really cool event. I mean, I love Street Fighter. It's classic Street Fighter combined with modern stuff. We're hyping the release of Street Fighter 6 that's coming out soon. It's all good stuff. So I'm very excited for this, and I hope that you guys will help me out to figure it out, okay? All right, so that's really May. May, there's going to be multiple new releases. There's Zelda. There's others after Zelda. It should be a good month. I'm excited for this month. I hope that you guys are too. Jasper's excited, obviously. He's all over the place today. Jasper Cat. What are you doing? He's going to lay on my lap again. This is becoming a regular thing now. Jasper, why are you laying on my lap? He literally never does this to my wife or me. Only when I'm on the stream sitting in this chair does he demand attention by sitting on my lap. And that's exactly what it is. This is why I tell you guys, you say, Phil, would you consider getting another cat? Do you think this cat, who's demanding all my attention right now, sitting on my lap, smelling my finger, do you think that this cat would want another cat around the house? This cat, 100%, is an attention-demanding cat. That's the kind of cat he is. He is the social cat. He's always in the middle of everything that we're doing. If we're cooking, he's in the middle of it. If we're eating, he's got to try to jump on the kitchen table to get our attention, even though we're trying to eat dinner. If we're, I'm just sitting here. Oh, Phil, I got your attention. I got to sit on your lap. You see? So, if there was another cat, he would be so jealous. He would be so upset that he'd probably be marking the whole house, you know, with his pheromones. And he'd probably be, you know, doing all kinds of destructive behavior, upset that he's not getting all the attention. All right, Jasper Kitty, I'm sorry, but you have to get off my lap now, okay? I have to do the show. It is very distracting and very warm when you sit on my lap, too. Maybe it was the middle of winter and we were relaxing on the couch, I'd allow it, but, you know, I'm doing a show, okay? What a nut. Okay, so there you have it. That's the month, all right? Now, I hope that you guys think that everything sounds good. If not, give me your feedback. I'm always open ears to feedback on my content and on my streams. And let's keep that pattern going. I think that I've improved a lot recently as a result of your feedback. By the way, what do you guys think of the May backdrop now? So this is the first time I've done this combination. We return to the classic Super Mario Bros. 1 dungeon, Bowser's Castle, here on the left. And then here, we've got the return of Ninja Gaiden. And because Ninja Gaiden is such a shorter piece of art, we now can actually more prominently see the other decorations, right? Do you guys like this setup better than last month's? Because the thing is, I really love that Super Mario Bros. 3 painting, but it's huge. That is actually now returned to my living room wall because it's so huge. Lonely Eyes Ghost says you should add Street Fighter 6 demo in the marathon. Level 8 CPU gives pro players problems. I already beat it. I already beat level 8 CPU. I already did it. Like, during that demo, I did level 8 CPU. It beat me once, and then I immediately beat it. And I was like, well, I guess that's it. I did everything in the demo. I already beaten it. There's nothing else to do. If you really want me to just sit there and beat up the level 8 computer over and over, I will. But I already beat it. So, anyway. That's funny, because you weren't even aware that I did you? Anyway. Varda thinks it's too much black background. Do you think so? Because this is the only combination I haven't done. I have 2 Mega Man paintings. I have two Super Mario paintings, Mario 1 and Mario 3. Well, I say Mario 3 because this is where it was last month. And then I got Ninja Gaiden, and then I have Punch-Out. So I have a combination of 6 different paintings. And this is like one of the combinations I've never done. I think the only other one I didn't do would have been Punch-Out here and Ninja Gaiden here. That would be the final combination. So I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to make it a little, you know, every month a little different, okay? Amnesiac Aaron, of course, I'm going to be playing Mortal Kombat later this year. And, of course, I'll be playing Tekken later this year. I'm playing all the major fighting games this year. Of course I am. Of course. Okay. All right. Before we get to shout-outs, I would just like to say thank you guys for your support of the channel and all of my efforts to make content for you on the internet. I'm glad that you enjoy the content and you support it. As you know, I'm a crowd-funded individual. I don't have any paid product placements. I don't shill any products. I'm not paid to play any particular games. Instead, it's all about me putting out the content honestly, and you guys appreciating the honest content and supporting it. And thank you for those who continue to do so. Many ways to support this channel, including simply liking my streams, liking the videos, and engaging with them. If you're here live on the stream, talking to me today, helping out with the gameplay of Elden Ring would be great. If you're watching the videos on demand, if you could leave comments, that engagement is key, and it helps, build the community and build the channel, so thank you for that. Excuse me. If you'd like to go above and beyond and actually support the channel in another way, there's many different ways you can do so. We're in a new month, all right? So anything helps, but let's talk about the ways you can actually concretely support. You could do a super chat or a super sticker. Those happen live during a stream. You get a nice pop-up if you do, and I'll give you a shout-out. Or you could do a super thanks on a video that's eligible, meaning a video that's not claimed by somebody else. You can leave a super thanks message and a contribution that way as well. You could become a member. You could renew a membership that's lapsed. You can gift a membership. We just lost about 50 to 60 members because a member bomb that had happened at the end of March expired. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all, but it would be nice to kind of build this back up to where we were before we just lost that member bomb. So please consider becoming a member today. All right, many benefits to being a member, including a highlighted name in the chat and video comments, a chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. You to ignore the slow mode rules that we have here on the live streams and talk as much as you want. You get priority whenever we have a special event like Ask the King, which is my bi-monthly Q&A show. Well, guess what? Members will have the priority to have their questions answered on that show, and that show is happening at the end of May. Among many other things. I could sit here and talk about all the benefits all day, but there's many benefits to being a member. People love memberships, and a lot of people are willing to accept a gifted membership. If you're interested in that, type exclamation point gift into the chat. That will allow you to enable your channel, if it's eligible, to get a gifted membership. Not all channels are, but a lot are, and you'll be able to do that, okay? So please consider, becoming a member today. Now, if you would like to support this channel in a big way, gifting memberships is a great way to do it. You can actually gift one individual, or you can do like groups of them. People are very grateful for when memberships get gifted. It helps this channel, and people get to use all those benefits. So it's a great way to help the community out. Thanks to anyone who might consider doing that today. Another great way to support this channel is by tipping me, which you can do by just typing exclamation point tip into the chat. A command will come up. You go to the PayPal and you can send a direct tip. If you do that, I will give you a shout out and play an animation. If it's, $5 or more, you get a nice animation on the stream. Now, tipping is great because essentially tipping is the best way to support the channel. The least amount gets taken out of tips, as opposed to everything else where there's this lead time before I get any kind of a benefit and there's chunks taken out. Tipping, the least gets taken out, so I get the most of any tip that you send. But in addition, because tips are so important, I have these rewards in place. If we raise $50 on a stream, I'll put on Gunner glasses. If we raise $100 on a stream, I'll let you vote on a silly hat for me to wear out of my repertoire of like a dozen or more hats that I have. And if we hit $150 on any particular stream, you get to vote on a silly vest for me to wear out of the about 10 vests that I own. So it's great. It helps a ton. It's immediate help, by the way. It's something that I could spend on. I could immediately take those funds, use it on a bill, or use it on something like that. And I appreciate all of you who support this channel in any way, but tips are a great way to do it. All right? So speaking of tips, it is time to do shout-outs for those who have tipped. And then we're going to go. Well, actually, let's do the YouTube side first. Let's start with people who through YouTube contributed this morning. We start off with Nick, who did a super chat. It says, do you think that any Metal Gear games are going to be remade? Thanks, Phil. I do. I feel like we're on the precipice of an announcement. Because Konami, there's strong rumblings and rumors that Konami is going to start focusing on their games division again. Which is hilarious because, let's be honest, they really have two things. Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid. And that's really it. When you think of Konami, like, what else do you think of for games these days? That's about it. So unless they're going to pump out a new Castlevania, sounds to me like they're about to re-release their Metal Gear Solid games, right? I would almost guarantee you they're probably going to re-release Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 in like HD versions, right? Better modern versions. I guess we'll see. So definitely I'm expecting it. I literally am expecting it tomorrow. Someone just made a good point that said Silent Hill. That is correct. And Silent Hill, well, wait. Is Silent Hill Konami? It is, right? Yes. And we already know they're making a Silent Hill 2 remake, and they're making a new Silent Hill game. So it stands to reason if they're making a push in their games division, they're probably going to do something Metal Gear Solid related as well. If they remade Metal Gear Solid 1, I would absolutely replay the game. In fact, I would love to replay it with modernized stuff. I feel like playing the PS1 version is so outdated at this point. I mean, it's a classic, but I'd much rather play it with modernized graphics, better controls, better music. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's see what happens. I would be interested in that. Okay? All right. Then we've got The Quartering's Imaginary Black Dad. I guess this is some kind of a joke or meme about The Quartering. I have no idea. I don't watch The Quartering or know anything about his content or his haters. I don't know what this means. All I'm gonna say here. The Quartering's Imaginary Black Dad. Hilarious, right? Whatever. Super Chat says, I feels ya, Phil. Okay, you feels me. I would prefer if you didn't feels me. If you keep your hands off of me, your lecherous paws, I would appreciate that. Okay? Take your mitts off my person. Okay. Let's continue. Our first tip of the day, and by the way, would not be shocked if there's a ton of troll tips today, just to forewarn everybody. So Snow Carl, to me $1, says, did you speak about watching other creators? Which was the last creator you contributed to, and why did you choose to support him or her? I'm not going to tell you. I will tell you this. I have contributed to creators recently. I have. But I'm not going to tell you who, because all that's going to do is create online harassment. So I'm not even going to say a word. I'm just going to say, yes, I actually have contributed to a creator recently, but I'm not going to tell you who it was. And keep in mind, if you have YouTube Premium, when you watch any creator, you're essentially paying them for your views. You don't have to watch the ads or anything. They just get paid for you just watching a video without even having to watch the ad. So I strongly recommend that you get YouTube Premium to support your favorite creators, especially if you watch a lot of their content, okay? But in the meantime, you know, there are other ways to support, and yes, I have. Okay. I received another $1 tip. Again from Snow Carl. Do you regret not doing React content earlier and losing support? No. Everything is perfect. Everything happens perfectly in my life. Nothing is out of place. Everything falls into line exactly as I've planned. It has all been a master plan from the start. Let's continue. I received another tip. This one also from Snow Carl. He says, would you consider doing members-only chat today to stop these trolls? No, we're not going to do members-only chat. We're gonna moderate the chat as appropriate, like usual. We're not going to be doing members-only. That's not fair. Not everyone can become a member. And I don't want to make this a members-only club. That has never been. The only reason I would ever do a members-only chat is if somehow we had a mass infiltration of the chat by a bunch of bots or something that were really ruining the chat experience for everyone. Then we would have to do it just for, for kind of safety purposes. But outside of that, I would never. I mean, I have been a full-time streamer now on YouTube for about 2 years. I would believe we're coming up to the 2-year anniversary here in just a few days, actually. I have never gone into members-only mode. You know? So, no, I absolutely positively don't want to do that. I want to avoid it if possible. Okay? Okay. It looks like a $1.50 tip came in. Felix DeMain says, I hope you will feel better for what's going on behind the scenes. Sad to hear when someone isn't feeling good, brings the mood down. Hope you can have a speedy recovery. Thank you. I appreciate that sentiment. That's nice of you. By the way, there's a bigger tipper coming up, which is why I'm not going to put your name on the leaderboard immediately, because there's another person coming up who's going to be the top tipper. But basically, yeah, I appreciate that. I said it at the beginning of the podcast today that behind the scenes, there's some personal stuff going on right now. You know, that's really bothering me, and I'm not having a good day. I already started off today in a really bad, messed up mood, and it's probably not going to get any better over the course of the day. I'm trying to get my mind off that crap by being here on stream with you guys, and today's is not the day for people to be nasty, yet because of the actions of some very small-minded, simpleton-like, uncaring individuals on the internet who only care about themselves, I now have to put up with online harassment and bullying all day long for no good fucking reason. So, I'm going to continue to just push forward positively and try to have a good day with you guys. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, today's not the day to fucking mess with me. You're going to come here and troll. You're going to be gone for good and you're never coming back. And there's no excuses. And don't email me to get unbanned. You're never coming back. I'm just have no tolerance for it today. Like I said, maybe on a different day, if I was in a better mood, if things were going better for me and it wasn't so bad right now, then I'd be more tolerant of it. Today's not the day for that, and I've already laid down the law, and already we probably had about 40 people banned because they're fucking morons, and they don't listen. They listen to their... Of all the people to listen to take a particular kind of person and make that the person that that's your idol, that's the person you really, you spend time with and you trust, and, I mean, you gotta be a fucking idiot. You gotta be a mouth drooler. So, we don't really need those kind of people around here anyway. And, you're gonna be toxic scumbags bullying people. You're not going to be around. Okay. Let's continue. So I received a $5 tip from Michael Jackson. Okay, then. Michael Jackson with a $5 tip. Interesting. Thank you very much. Let's get that on the leaderboard. We'll just say MJ. Oops. And let us play our first animation of the stream, a $5 tip animation. Thank you very much. Cool. Let's see here. Another tip came in. So someone says, I thought you were owning the meme. What's happened? There's a difference between owning a meme and then wanting to move on from it, and then someone who actually acts like a 5-year-old in a schoolyard. And I've already made it abundantly clear why I've completely moved on from anything in that time of my life. That was 7 years ago. It was a time when I was very depressed. I mean, I tried to tell you guys and be honest and open up about it in the last year. That was a time of my life I was very depressed. My whole personal life was falling apart at the seams. Like, my life here was awful. I was essentially living like a life separate from the person I was living with at the time. We weren't even in any kind of a real relationship. It was very stressful. It was very awful. I was messed up. I was drinking heavily. I was essentially at a time in my life I don't want to think about, which is why, that happened to begin with. It's very fucked up and depressing. And I've already explained this in detail many times on the internet. But there's people who think that shit's funny. Phil was depressed and was fucked up in the head and was feeling awful about his life and himself and did something really fucking stupid and embarrassing because of it. Let's just bring it up forever. It's like, no. That's what you do if you're like a 5-year-old on a schoolyard at fucking elementary school. Right? You bully someone, you pick on them for something, It's horrible. It's like a fucking mentally distressing time of my fucking life that I don't want to think about again. I don't want to think about it. My wife hates when people bring it up because I'm past that. I'm a better person. I'm in a better place in my life now. And the fact that there's people that can't get by that, just think about it this way, all right? I started making regular content on the internet, on YouTube, probably around the spring of 2009. I mean, I sporadically was making videos like fall of 2008. Around spring of 2009, I started making very serious, like, tons of consistent content, all right? All the way through now. Like, I never stopped. Now, if you do the math, spring of 2009 through, you know what they're talking about, the incident of 2016 is about 7 years, okay? If you do the math, the incident until now is 7 years. I have made just as much content in my time on YouTube after that stupid thing happened than before. You understand? I've grown, I've changed, I've made way more positive content and become a better person from who I was back then. I have completely moved past that part of my life. Why in the fuck would I want to keep reminding myself of how messed up and depressed and sad I was at that point in my life and how awful it was? Things are so much better now. Why would I want to think about it constantly? But the thing is, the people who talk about it don't care. They love my misery. The day that I don't feel good is a day that they feel good about themselves because they feel like they got something out of life because they made someone else feel bad and got away with it. That's the kind of people who do things like bring that up constantly. They're scumbags. They're really low people. They're the kind of people you want to avoid in life. They're the kind of people who you don't want to spend time with because they're toxic. All right? That's the kind of people you want to... Fuck you. I'm going to build up a positive life over here and stay away from this toxic individual who literally only focuses on people's failures. Okay? I'm done with that. So, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just going to stay away from it. Yes. Do I own it? Of course I do. Did it happen? Of course it did. It was 7 fucking years ago. I made more content after the fact than before. So how are you going to say to me that this is something representative of who I am today and something I need to even bring up or care? I don't care. I don't. I'm done with it. And all it is, it's very simple. It's bullying. When people do it, they feel better about themselves because there's something wrong with them. People who do this kind of online bullying actually have something wrong up here. Maybe they actually hate themselves in their own personal lives. Maybe they're jealous of something, you know? Who knows? I'm not a fucking psychiatrist who's going to sit here and try to diagnose people, but you know there's something wrong with them. Someone who's going to do something like that. So, it's that simple. I'm not going to waste my time on those kind of people. And in particular, because I know people want to bring up Rich, this is a guy who earlier this year, all right, one of his kids was very sick, and I got wind of this. Someone told me about it, and I actually looked into it, and it's true. One of his kids is very sick. I hope they're better, by the way, because I don't know. And I felt real bad because I know that we had some bad blood, and I personally reached out to the guy behind the scenes, and I said, you know, no bad blood is worth the stress of having a family member who's really ill. I've been there. And I wanted you to know that I hope that your daughter feels better. And I kind of want to squash whatever we have. You know, in fact, would you like to have a conversation? Would you like to maybe come on my show and just talk? Have a candid conversation, just being real with each other and just being nice to each other rather than being at each other's throats and making fun of each other. And he basically said he would be interested in that. But he couldn't make it that day and we were going to try to set it up. Okay? So, that was a conversation I had with the man. And then literally, I'm not shitting you, within 24 hours of that conversation, he went on Twitter and he fucking shat all over me and insulted me publicly. So what the fuck kind of person is that? Why the fuck would I waste my time with that guy? He's a scumbag. He literally took my goodwill. I want to be nice to you because I feel bad because you're having a bad time in your life. I sympathize, empathize. I've been there. I just want us to not have beef. I don't want to have beef with anyone. Let's just be fucking cool with each other. And then he literally took that, said thanks, and he slammed it down on the ground, and he stomped it into paste, and he laughed at it, and he went and made fucking nasty tweets about me. So, Rich can go fuck himself. I want nothing to do with the guy ever again. He really, if you think that Rich is someone to be looked up to or even enjoy his content, you're a fucking idiot. You need to look in the mirror at yourself and say, what the fuck's wrong with me? This guy is a piece of shit. And I'm following him and I like his stuff. Someone who's going to have an entire event based around bullying someone who doesn't care about him and wants nothing to do with him. All right? It's time to really have a self-assessment here of who you are and realize this is not the kind of person you want as part of your life. All right? Really. And it's just pathetic because this is a guy who not only knows he has 1 million subs on YouTube and knows that people will actually follow the things he says and does, he's irresponsible with it. This is the kind of person I talk about all the time, where when you have a following on YouTube or anywhere, you need to be responsible with your following. Life is not all jokes for everyone. Life is not all fun and games and pranks and, oh, everyone should just laugh at everything. There's people who go through real life shit who don't need your shit. I outright told Rich earlier this year, I don't need your shit. I got so much personal shit going on in my life, I don't need more stress from you. He doesn't care. He does it anyway because he personally gets laughs and benefits out of it. So he doesn't care who he hurts or stomps on. That's the kind of guy he is. But he'll portray himself like a nice guy to the internet when in reality, he's just another fucking scumbag like everybody else. And the real sad fact about this all right, I'm sorry to say it, is that not only does he have fans, but he has kids. And now, later on in life, they're going to look back at his behavior on the internet and they're going to think that that's okay, that it's okay to bully people, that it's okay to be nasty to people because that's what dad did. That's fucked up. That's legitimately fucked up. Really? You think they're going to be insulated from this behavior for the rest of their lives? No, they're not going to be. They're going to know exactly what he's doing. They're going to get wind of it when they get older. And they're going to say, my dad used to bully people on the internet. What the fuck is this? He used to make money bullying people. I could never live with that. Really. I could never live with that with myself if that was me doing it. I couldn't. So, it's pretty fucked up, man. And, you know, I hope that he'll fucking wise up someday. But at this point, I don't think so. I think when you see someone that's that far gone, you can't. I gave this guy the benefit of the doubt so many times. I tried to extend the olive branch so many times to this man. And every time that I try, he stomps on it and he shits on me again right away for personal benefit. So at this point, I know things are never going to change. I know he will always be that kind of person, and I'm done with him. All right? So he can do whatever he wants, but any of his idiotic, mouth-drooling lackeys who come to my stream today to try to make me miserable, especially on today, I already told you guys, I've got a lot of fucked up stuff going on in my life right now. I don't need it. And the fact that he's got his people coming over here being fucking nasty to me just shows the kind of person he is. I'm done with this man. I want nothing to do with him. In fact, after this moment, I don't ever want to bring him up ever again. I'm done with this fucker. He's so insignificant to anything I care about on this planet. And by the way, this isn't new. This is a guy who's done this to me for like a decade. Constantly talking about me in his fucking content and shit. It's like, shut the fuck up, you idiot. No one fucking should care about you. You're such a dunce. You're so insignificant to anything meaningful on this planet. You've helped no one. All you've done is fucking hurt people with your bullshit. Shut the fuck up. This is the kind of person who doesn't deserve a platform because they're just an online bully. So I'm done with it. And that's it. That's my last word on it. Rich, go fuck yourself. Leave me alone forever. I want nothing to do with you. You're a scumbag. You've proven it time and time again. I'm done with it. Okay. So, let us continue, shall we? All right. Let's get back to normalcy and positivity around here. All right. I received a $1 tip. Oh, it's one of his troll. It's one of his idiotic people. Literally, I'm not even kidding you. The message is, oh, cyberbullying isn't real. Wow. Why don't you ask Rich about that? Your buddy. Why don't you ask Rich about that, right? I think you should. Why don't you ask him about cyberbullying? Because he's been the victim of it and he's bitched about it too, but then he just does it. That's the difference is if you're actually a victim of something and you know how bad it can be for you and you know how bad it could be for your family and you know how negatively it can affect you, you wouldn't do it to someone else, right? People who are the victims of a bad raising, your parents were being mean and abusive to you. You don't then go and be abusive to your own kids because you learn from the worst and you know not to do that and pass that along, right? But Rich is not that way. Rich, he just passes that toxicity along and continues that history of bad treatment of people. He just doesn't care. Okay. So we're done. I'm not going to talk about his dumb lackeys or anything either. These fucking idiots come in here with dollar tips. I'm just going to tell you to go fuck yourself like you deserve and get out of here and we'll move on. Okay? All right. So that's that. We're good with shout outs for now. Now we can get back to normalcy. I got it off my chest, right? We're done. And now we can move on positively, correct? Thank you. That's it for that. I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense today. I'm done with it. Okay. So, what would you guys like to talk about for the rest of the podcast? We got about 10, 15 minutes left. What are your current hobbies? Have they changed from when you were in your 20s and 30s? Oh, dude. When I was in my 20s and 30s, my hobby was Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Like, Street Fighter was the big thing in my 20s. And to some extent, even into my 30s. And then YouTube kind of became my hobby. But then YouTube became my job. So now, really, I don't have much time for hobbies. Now it's more like when I get a chance outside of working, I try to spend as much time with my wife as possible. And, we enjoy watching, TV shows and stuff together, listening to music, spending time with Jasper Kitty. I mean, that's kind of like the only other free time I have. I don't really have time for set hobbies anymore. I just don't. Okay? We already, Mission Impregnable, you already missed that segment where we talked all about Redfall. You must have missed it. We already talked all about it. We're going to be playing it tomorrow and see for ourselves and judge if we want to keep playing it or not, but it doesn't look good from what people are saying, right? Ramen Rice says, you just look at this. You complained when Dead Island 2 took 10 years because it took too long to come out, but the game runs perfectly. Now you want games to take longer so they'll run better. Which one is it? You can't have both. Let's have a happy medium between a game taking 10 years to make or a game being rushed out unfinished. Somewhere in the middle would be the right amount. Let's put it that way. 10 years or completely rushed out unfinished. Somewhere in the middle of that. That would be the good choice. Kind of extremes there, don't you think? Okay. Oh, man. Pickle Man, what's going on? I don't know, Pickle Man. My brain is... I'm stressed out and my brain is scrambled today. And I don't really feel like asking you a question, if that's okay. Maybe another day when I'm feeling better and I'm feeling more in a jovial mood and I can ask you a silly question. My mind's not there today. My mind is really not in a good place today. You know? Thanks in part to real life and thanks in part to certain individuals. So, you know, I prefer to not really to go there, okay? Yes, everyone's coming in late. Yes, we already talked about the Jedi Survivor patch tomorrow. We already talked about I'm going to be trying it on Thursday on May the 4th. You guys missed the whole first half of the podcast where we talked about all of that already. You missed it. Okay. Oh, my nose. Ramrod, no one knows what you're talking about. Vladimir, I'm trying. I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. Thank you, Willow. Willow likes the new setup of the artwork for the month. I'm glad to hear that. I do agree it is dark because both have black backgrounds, but at the same time, the only other combination I could do was like Punch-Out and Ninja Gaiden, and I didn't think that looked good. I was looking at it. I was like, I guess I could have put Punch-Out here and Ninja Gaiden here, but I didn't think it looked as good. So I figured I'd do this one this month. Next month for Street Fighter, we'll have more colorful stuff. How about that? We'll have less black. We're just having leftovers. I was saying, what's dinner tonight? Just leftovers. We actually had several different meals this week that had leftovers, so we're just going to eat a choice. I think what we have the soup from the other day, the pasta fazool soup that my wife made. So we can have that, or we actually have tuna casserole left over too, so we can have whatever we want for leftovers, but that's all we're doing. My wife's working. You know, she doesn't get home in time to make dinner for us. We're just going to warm something up. Thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth says, sorry you have to deal with this kind of nonsense. Wishing you a great day. Thank you. I appreciate that. What cereal do I like? Depends. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. I like things that are flakes or Wheaties. Like Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes, Wheaties are good. Raisin Bran's good. I like Golden Grams. I like those little wheat things. What are they called? The little wheat things? I don't remember what they're called anymore. The ones that have sugar, though. I like the plain ones. Oh, I like Chex and Chex cereal, Life cereal. Those kind of cereals. Those are the ones I would probably eat now. Mini Wheats. Yeah, Mini Wheats are pretty good. Those are the ones I would probably eat today. I probably wouldn't be eating any kiddie cereals that have chocolate and shit in them in the morning. I'm not in the mood for that kind of stuff in the morning, you know? Do I like beef jerky? Beef jerky is alright. I like more tender beef jerky. I know some beef jerky can be really, really tough. I don't really like that. I prefer more tender beef jerky. So... How do I like my eggs? Usually over easy. I like it with a little bit of runniness in the yolk. A lot of people like scrambled. A lot of people like sunny side up. I like over easy for some reason. I don't know why. I like a runny yolk. Waffles, pancakes, or French toast. It all depends on my mood. I would probably eat French toast more out of those three. When I grew up, my mother always made me French toast in the morning every once in a while for breakfast. And she made a really good French toast, and I always have like memories of that. Waffles and pancakes are all right, but they're kind of sweet. French toast isn't really sweet. It's more savory. I think that's why I like it. I've never been on a riding lawnmower. No, I have not had that pleasure. Excuse me. Would I ever try out veganism? I've had vegetarian meals before, but no, I would not go full vegan. Jade, we will see. We will see during the Street Fighter Marathon what people want and what they vote for. Very well, people might vote for those characters in the various games during that event. We'll see. No, I didn't know about Ghostwire Tokyo having an update. I played it last year, and, you know, I wasn't in love with it, so now I'm not really too into that. What is my next tier list? I was thinking about maybe doing one next week, because we haven't done one in a while now. And I was thinking maybe this first week of May doing one on a late night stream just for variety. And then the next one would be during the Street Fighter event coming up. So maybe we could do a random one, you know, late night stream of a tier maker, maybe like Monday, Tuesday night for variety coming up. Of next week, that is. And then around the 21st is the Street Fighter event, which again we have to come up with a name, so I hope you guys will think of names. And we're gonna do multiple ones there. We're probably gonna do 2 different tier makers, and there will be fighting game related. That's what I'm thinking. What's my favorite Star Wars movie? Probably still The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, probably still. I mean, I like the whole original Star Wars trilogy. Probably more than a lot of people, because a lot of people hate Return of the Jedi. I like Return of the Jedi. I don't think the Ewoks are obnoxious. I think they're actually kind of well written. I actually think that they're interesting. There's something different, something you wouldn't expect from the tone of the first 2 movies. But I think Empire is definitely still the best one, right? I still think that, right? No, I didn't see Tears of the Kingdom leaked. I don't even know what that means. How does it leak? How do you leak a game? Nor do I really care. You know me, I don't really pay attention to that shit anyway. I stay away from spoilers. Dark Game Theories, we already talked about Redfall. You're very late. Had a whole segment about it. We'll be trying it out tomorrow together. Excuse me. Moxfirst, we already talked about Jedi Survivor. Jeez. We already talked about Jedi Survivor. We talked that it's getting a patch tomorrow. We talked about that I'm going to play it on May the 4th as a way to get back into the game, and hopefully it's better. People are coming to the podcast way late and bringing up things we talked about at length earlier on the show. Holy moly. So, Play Cool just tipped me $1.57. I don't know what the significance of that amount is, but thank you. They have an interesting message about a game coming up that I never heard of. They said, what's up with you? Yesterday I started and finished Kona, free up to May 18th on PS Plus Extra. It's a detective investigation game with a supernatural twist. I think you might enjoy that. The atmosphere is really good. Seems like a game up your alley. You know, it's a shame because I had PS Plus for the longest time, and I just haven't had it in many, many months. Last year, I got PS Plus Premium, and I had it for, like 3 or 4 months, and we played a bunch of games on it, and then I realized I wasn't playing anything on it anymore, so I canceled it. For some weird reason, I still had PS Plus until, like, December. And then in December it ended, and since then, I just don't see the point of getting it again. Like, I'm not playing any games online on my PlayStation at all. So I don't need PS Plus. And I'm not going to pay for that. Even if I get a free game, like, I just don't see the point. I'm keeping Game Pass Ultimate purposefully because I get a lot out of it. You know, I'm still playing Oblivion. We're playing Redfall tomorrow. Like, every month, I'm getting something out of Game Pass. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I was getting any money's worth out of PlayStation Plus Premium. Plus, by the way, they're taking away all those games. All those freaking games that were in that initial offering last year, they're removing them all. It's like, really? Then what's the incentive? I think they realize there is no incentive to have it. It's a waste of time. This game very well may be good. What's it called? Kona? But, yeah, I'm not going to get PS Plus for it. And, you know, what I would say is, If it's a game that you think I'm interested in, if we get further into this month and it looks like we have some time for downtime stuff, like late night streams and stuff, then I would consider it. But right now, we're kind of booked. So. Why do I stop Game Pass nights? Because we only do Game Pass nights when we're looking for something to fill a gap. If we don't have a game for late night streaming or chill streaming, we go to Game Pass to try to find one. We haven't had those openings in a long ass time, so that's why. I mean, Oblivion I've been playing since December. That's been an ongoing game that's still ongoing. So right there, that's an example. You know, if we stopped playing Oblivion, there would be openings for that kind of stuff. So, Tears of the Kingdom has had its ROM leaked. It's now being emulated on PC, and it's a disaster for Nintendo. I don't know what's going on with modern game development. How does this stuff leak? How did someone at Nintendo leak it? How did, you know? Is there no one who works at these companies with reputability? Like, how the hell did it get leaked? How is that even possible? The ROM? Oh my god. People ripped it off of early physical copies. Is that serious? Review copies? Okay, can we stop with the review copies? Really? Can we fucking listen to me and stop with the review copies? They serve no purpose anymore. Everyone should wait to day one, play it at face value, and then you'll get honest reviews. No more early review copies. It's ruining the games industry. Stop with that shit. I don't know why people don't fucking listen. You know what it is? It's because the games industry, who would be the public-facing figure to say this? It would have to be someone with prominence to get attention for saying it. But those people with prominence who get attention want the early review copies so they can come out with the early reviews and make money on it. You see? So they're not going to say that. Same thing with the content creators. If you're one of the influencers who's given a copy early, you don't want that practice to stop. You're making bank off of it. So you want it to continue. So it's going to be a vicious cycle until these game companies put their foot down and are like, oh shit, this is a bad idea. We're all getting screwed because of it. Stop it right now. It doesn't need to exist anymore. Willow already answered that. I know they don't serve a purpose. Like I said, here's how it should work. The game, Redfall comes out tomorrow. Absolutely, no one has gotten an early copy. Tomorrow, everyone gets their copy. Whether they buy it or they get their free review copy, everyone gets it on release day. Alright? Now what's going to happen is, day one sales will be low. Because not everyone's going to just rush out and buy a game without knowing if it's good. So you wait one fucking day. Everyone plays it. Everyone gives their first impressions on streams, in videos, in reviews. Day two, if you like what you heard, you go buy the game. The problem is we have this weird cultural mentality in the gaming industry. Everyone must play a game on launch day. Why? Why can't you wait one fucking day and show a tiny little piece of self-control and say, I'll hold off to see if it's good? Instead, stop buying the hype, stop being a brain-dead idiot, and rushing out to buy everything because everyone else is buying it, and wait one fucking day. And then you'll know. Then you'll never need an early copy to ever be put out. No games will leak. And all these fucking influencers won't be rolling in fucking dough constantly because they were the golden selected people to play the game a week early and shill it and say nothing negative about it even if the game sucks ass, which happens all the time. They're given the early copy, told, oh, you can't criticize the game because you're under a review embargo. So instead they stream it and kiss its ass the whole time and make bank just to find out the game actually sucks shit and people buy it because of misconceptions, and now the game makes money, even though it sucks. Enough of that. Let's fix the games industry. No more early copies. Make people actually grow up and be fucking responsible with their money. Wait one fucking day to buy a game. It's not a big deal. We just need to actually start doing it instead of having this broken fucking system where games are fucking leaking 2 weeks ahead. Stupid shit. Had enough. Told you, I'm in a no-nonsense mood today. Okay. Alright, guys, I think it's time to end the show. I would like to say thank you to those who chilled with me, those who did support the stream so far today. And again, I apologize for negativity. I told you guys at the beginning of this show that I'm already in a bad mood because of things going on in real life that I'm not going to speak of here. And I'm sorry if there was negativity. You know, obviously I would have preferred not to have it, but, you know, idiotic people coming into the chat and trying to ruin the stream for everybody. You know, stupid, right? Very fucking stupid. So, It is what it is. All right, guys, let's end the show, shall we? And let us begin with Elden Ring. Okay, thank you all. And again, I do have 2 quick updates for everyone before we end the show. All right, update number 1. A new intro for the podcast is in the works and should be ready by the time that these false copyright strikes clear up. It sucks that we have to wait for them to clear up, but they're in process of clearing up. We probably got to wait another week to week and a half, but once they clear up, we should be good. Okay, so what the hell is some weird pop-up? I can't even read that. What? I got a pop-up that's tiny text and I can't even read it. Hold on one second. I want to see if I can read it. This doesn't apply to me. YouTube, whoa, almost fell. YouTube had a weird live update, policy update, something to do with paused channel memberships. I have no idea what that even means. I guess there's some kind of an issue with paused channel memberships at this point. I have no idea. I was just refreshing my page here, and it says, policy update. We're updating our YouTube policies on the partner program reapplication policy and extending paused mode for channel memberships. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Has nothing to do with me, though. Like, it all says learn more and dismiss, and it looks like there's a... It looks like they just updated their community guidelines. Update to our eating disorder policy? Change to pinned comment. I guess they changed a lot. Starting June 5th, we're extending our policy on reapplication to the YouTube Partner Program from 30 days to 90 days. Has nothing to do with me. Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave this open and read it later. It's just weird that they did a pop-up for it. Because I rarely see that happen on YouTube. Usually if there's a pop-up, it's something like, we really need your feedback or something's going on. It's weird. Anyway. Confusing. Yeah, I don't know. People are saying Nick Avocado. Isn't that avocado guy? I don't know anything about him. All right. Anyway, 2 updates. Number 1, there is a new intro being worked on, and it should hopefully be done by the time that the false copyright strikes clear up. So we will have a new intro for the Level 1 podcast soon. And then number 2, what was the other thing? Now I forgot the other thing. All right. I think we need to end the show. Oh, that's the other thing. I know I don't have any music or anything on the podcast right now. That's on purpose. Obviously, I don't want to start using things on the show until we get all those issues cleared up. So please bear with me. And I swear to you, I will have more stuff on the podcast again once it's available. All right? So we'll see. But thank you all for a great show. Let's end the show. Sadly, I have no outro music. But happy spring, everyone. And I will see you soon.